We toss around words like optimization, monetization, streamline processes, right? But what are we actually talking about? What are we actually optimizing and streamlining and monetizing, right? So, in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about what I'm optimizing and what I'm intentionally building for, what pace I'm moving at, and the direction that I'm letting my business go in. Hello, my beautiful entrepreneurs. My name is Tabitha Bear, and this is, you guessed it, A Hot Mess Builds an Empire. I let you know, as always, at the beginning of every episode, that I have absolutely no idea what it is that I'm doing, but I'm doing it with the energy of someone who is tripped and is making a career out of the fall. Okay, so let's talk about optimization and what does that look like? What are we optimizing? What are we doing? What's happening? What's going on? Optimizations just sound so fancy, right? Like it has a Z in there, so you get like that Zation. Like it's just, ooh, it sounds so good. And optimize just like sounds like a strong word that a CEO should be using, right? Like, of course. So, of course, I'm going to streamline things and optimize things and work on the workflow and monetization and whatever. It all sounds so good. But what are you doing with that? So, today I'm going to be talking about what it is I'm optimizing and just kind of why I'm optimizing these certain things. And maybe that'll kind of help you develop goals and clarification for your own business of what it is that you could be optimizing. So, the first thing that I'm optimizing is for sustainability. This is crucial. This was a big lesson learned in 2025 because I just felt like I always had to be doing something. Just my business is not going to go anywhere if I'm not actively always doing something. But everything I did was kind of reactive and with no intention. And oh, there's a spider on my light. Um, but everything was not done purposefully. There was no steadiness to anything. There was no goals to anything. It was just kind of like just hoping that strategy would find me, hoping that things would work out. And that's not sustainable. So what I've learned this year is to optimize everything based on the season of life that I'm in. And that is taking into account my full-time job and building up so that I can leave said full-time job. That includes taking care of my health first and learning how to sustain myself and balance what I have going on with this car accident and also balance what it is that I'm capable of in my current capacity. And that also means setting goals, like setting actual goals. I realized last week when I was getting like my word of 2026 together and stuff like that, I have never set a financial goal for my business ever. Like it was just kind of like, well, I hope these affiliate links make money or I hope someone buys this. There was never like, this is how much I want to make for the year and this is how much I would make per month to make it per for the year, right? So, I've optimized my mindset for that sustainability as well by setting actual goals for myself. And I'll talk about that in another episode, but I just for the sustainability aspect, I think like the mindset is where it starts, right? Like I can't hope for strategy. I am the cause of strategy. I have to make the strategy. I have to put effort into the strategy. And things aren't going to optimize without strategy. And the strategy is not just going to magically bonk me on the head and be like, I'm here. Here you go. Here's strategy. Like it's not how it works. Unfortunately, it's not how it works. The next thing I'm going to do is optimize for clarity. So if you watched, I believe it's the previous, I think it's yesterday's episode, Welcome to the Empire. I talk about the three major things that are going on in Tabitha Bear Studios, and they're all like not similar to each other. You can connect them via storytelling in some capacity, but really they're quite different in their their content and the audience that they would be finding. And that in and of itself can muddy the waters. If I'm trying to create a stable foundation for my business, people aren't going to know if they're following me for women's history. They're not going to know if they're following me for myths from around the world. They're not going to know if they're following me for entrepreneurship. So I have to be very clear about the 3 lanes that I have going on right now. And I have to be very clear and intentional about what it is that I'm choosing to be in right now. So as of right now, Adventures of an Entrepreneur is the one that's easiest for me with what I have going on with my health. That is the easiest for me to commit to, and that's the easiest for me to maintain. So I need to be very intentional about that particular highway that I'm choosing to go, and being clear about my message and the content, being clear about my messaging and how it is that I present my business, and not just being all over the place and telling everybody to look at everything all at once, because nothing's going to happen if my message isn't clear, if I'm not clear about what it is that I'm working on. It also makes it so much easier to help my mental clutter, to choose like, hey, instead of these 50 things you have to do for 3 different lanes, right? Here are 5 things that you need to do for this one lane. And it's so much easier to focus and execute. So optimizing for clarity has been huge for me these last few weeks. And it's only been the last few weeks that I've really been like, oh, wow, my message isn't clear. My message is not clear. And maybe that's why I don't have the growth that I want to have. So that's what I'm working on these next few months that I'm home, is working on my message and the clarity that it is that I offer myself and my audience and community. The next thing, and like, let's be honest here, is optimizing for sales and financial growth. I am a business. I'm not just a creative outlet. I do want to make money. I do plan on making money. And like I said before, like I've never set financial goals for myself, and I've never sat down and gone, here are my streams of revenue that I expect to get X amount from, or here are my streams of revenue that I'm going to focus on. I've never sat down and done that. It's always been a hope and a prayer. Hope these affiliate links get me some money this year or this month, or hope this goes through, or hope people buy this. And a lot of it is because I also don't talk about what it is that I offer. That's on me. How can I be a creative entrepreneur if I'm just kind of always creating and never talking about what it is that I sell or what it is that I offer? So that's something that I'm working on. I told myself I would start intentionally talking about my Stan Store twice a week on any platform. It didn't matter which one, but it had to be in the form of like a reel or a YouTube video or whatever, and discuss what it is that I sell. And I don't do that still. And I'm afraid to exercise that muscle, because I don't exercise that muscle, right? Like it's a, like, I don't want to say a catch-22, but it's, I have to do one thing. Like I have to move that muscle to strengthen it so I get good at it. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not good at doing this and I don't want to do it. So that's something that I'm working on. And once I start to dive into the things that it is that I'm being clear about in my message, my offers will be clearer as well. So it, like, if you look at my Stan Store, it looks good, right? Like visually it's aesthetically pleasing, but it's kind of all over the map. You don't know, is she a storyteller? Is she a business like person, like that helps you with your business? Like what is she doing? It's messy, right? Like I have things that I've written for, Portals and Beyond, like, and Witch Walks and Sorcerer Sites, which is just kind of like, here's some myths from around the world, and there are real world locations that have like inspired that myth, or real world locations that you can visit, right? If I'm sitting here talking to you in A Hot Mess Builds an Empire, where would you connect to those 2 books that I offer? Now, some of you out there may find that interesting, and that's amazing. You can find it in my Stan Store. But like, let's be realistic. If you're here to talk about business and entrepreneurship and being a creative entrepreneur, you might not really be interested in that. So when you click on my Stan store and you see that, you're just kind of like, this isn't related to what it is that I was watching her for. Like, why would I buy a book about storytelling if all we're doing is talking about entrepreneurship, right? Like, it makes sense. So when I optimize for clarity, it means also optimizing my streams of revenue so they match what it is that I'm talking about right now, and it match what it is that I'm pushing in this particular season. So that's how I plan on optimizing my sales and my financial growth, is by kind of updating my Stan store and changing around what it is that I have in there. So you will see that. I mean, if you're one of the people who happens to check out my Stan store every once in a while, you will see that changing over the next couple of days here as I change what it is that I'm offering. I have a new product coming out that I'm very excited about, which nobody knows what it is yet. But it's going to be more aligned with what it is that I'm doing right now, and it's going to be more helpful to the community that I'm growing here on YouTube. So I plan to see sales coming from that because I plan on talking about it. I plan on it being aligned with what it is that I'm talking about here on YouTube. And it makes sense when your products make sense with what it is that you're messaging people about. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to sit here and talk about travel and then try to sell you real estate and in like a place that I don't talk about, right? Like, it just doesn't, it's not aligning. My products aren't aligning with what it is that I'm sharing. So that will be getting revamped. That will be getting optimized. And we'll see amazing things come from it. I'm sure we will. So the next thing that I'm working on is optimizing for depth over volume. Now, this is something I've been working on this year, and it's been really interesting to see like sort of the slow change, but the good change happening. So I've been working on trying to do less, but with a deeper value to it, or more qualitative value to it, instead of just constantly churning stuff out. Like, before, I thought, well, I need to have 15 digital products in my Stan store. I need to be churning out a reel every single day. And there's only so much you can do with that. And when you're not talking about your Stan store and your products aren't necessarily aligned with what it is that you're sending out into the universe, like, it doesn't make sense to continue wasting your time on that, right? So one of the other biggest things I've learned is I want to build trust over traffic. And I'm doing that. I'm getting more DMs, I'm getting more comments. And that, I know that's a certain kind of like vanity metric in a way, but to me it's not, because I never used to get comments and DMs before. People like, oh, I find this relatable, or, oh, hey, if you ever come out with something like this, let me know and I would love to purchase it. Like, it's one of those things that I've seen a change in how it is that people are responding to my content and how people are engaging with my content that I'm putting out there. And that tells me that I'm doing something right, and it's slow moving, but it's moving in a better direction, and it's moving in a direction that I'm aligned with and my business is aligned with. And it's moving in a direction that clearly has a better message. So I will be continuing with some things, and I will be changing some other things. So yeah, hoping to still see more good stuff from it. Always, I feel like I'm going to get this on a t-shirt. Hoping for the best, expecting the worst. The next thing I'm optimizing for is creative alignment. This is something, I think I brought it up in yesterday's video maybe, where I was talking about like being giddy about projects that you're working on and just feeling like a little kid again with certain things. I miss feeling that way with products I would create, and I would be like, oh my God, this is amazing, and I love this, and I'm so passionate about it, and it's so much fun. And I would like churn these things out, and then like nothing would happen, and it would completely fall flat. But now, like, that I'm finding my stride, I know how to focus my voice better, and I know how to project my voice better. I can now be more aligned with my creativity so that it all sort of meshes together really well. A nice blend, right? And I think there are two things that I'm taking away from this that are like really important. So the first is working on stuff that genuinely excites me. Because when I work on stuff that genuinely excites me, I'm excited to finish it. I'm excited to share it. I'm excited to talk about it, which means that would increase my chance of sales, right? Like the excitement behind it would be really great. On the flip side of this is learning to say no to stuff. There are things that I'm like, oh my God, this is such a great idea. I'm like, I have to make it. I have to do it. I have to do it right now. I've got to say no. I've got to learn to say no. I really do, because there are certain things that aren't aligned for right now. Or there are certain things where, like, if I'm choosing to focus on a hot mess builds an empire and Myths and Miles is really out of my bandwidth right now, why would I focus on products or offers or services with Myths and Miles if what I'm excited about and what I'm talking about and what my bandwidth is within the realms of a hot mess builds an empire, right? So creative alignment also has to sort of be in the same lane that I'm in and not letting it get diverted to different highways, because that's exhausting. And again, takes away from the clarity that I'm trying to optimize right now. So this is a new addition, and that's optimizing for flexibility. These last few weeks have been really hard, and I've had to be flexible. I've had to change what it is that I'm talking about. I've had to change sort of the medium and the platform that I'm utilizing that works for me right now. So I was posting or like publishing a daily podcast Monday through Friday for Adventures of an Entrepreneur. And now, and those were scripted sessions, right? Scripted episodes. And now I'm riffing it on YouTube because that's what I can handle. And I've never been in this situation before where my health is literally impacting me being able to read and write, right? It feels so wild that that's the situation I'm in with my head injury, is like reading and writing is really difficult. You know, I can do it for a couple minutes, and then after that, like things get blurry. I have to walk away. My head really hurts. Like I have a constant headache right now. And to sit here and just be like reading for 15, 20 minutes, I can't do it. I cannot read for 15, 20 minutes out loud and then record it and then try to edit it and everything and succeed in having a daily podcast when I can't read and write that. I can't. I'm in a season of flexibility with my health, and I'm creating systems that allow me to be flexible now. So workflows of like, okay, I can batch for this amount of time today, and then I need to take a break. And then I can batch for this amount of time, and then I need to take a nap. I've never, before it's just been go, 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 go. It's just keep going. You have 12 hours today. It's your day off. Just go for those 12 hours. You may take a bathroom break and have lunch. Like it's always been very intense, and I'm learning to have some grace and be patient with myself. And that's been difficult because I've never taught myself patience with myself. It's always been just go. Like you're not moving fast enough. You need to keep going. And now I need to be flexible with what it is that I have going on. I have so many doctor's appointments every single day, and I can't drive myself. So I am on other people's schedules. So sometimes I'm getting dropped off early somewhere and getting picked up later. And I'm not on a schedule where I'm like, okay, I can drive myself and drive myself back. That's not where I'm at. So optimizing for flexibility and doing the best I can to work with that. That's a new one. So I can't speak too much to that, but I can say that as of right now, it's a necessity for my business is to be very flexible. The next thing I'm optimizing is long-term relationships. This has become such an important focus for me, and that is building relationships online, building a community online, not just an audience, not just creating stuff that's clickbaity. I'm talking about things that like help you succeed, help you learn, help you be entertained. And I can't let you trust me if I'm also not being vulnerable, if I'm also not sharing pieces of myself. I'm just like, here's this thing. Thank you. I will take your like now, right? Like it just doesn't make any sense. Whereas now I'm finding that the more vulnerable I am and the more that I'm sharing and the more that I'm showing up consistently every day on YouTube and talking about my frustrations and talking about my business, um, it's building something in the background. There's a foundation happening in the background, and I'm really excited for it because, I'm still sitting at 21 subscribers, but some of those people are people I don't know. So, hey, what's up? Um, but I'm hoping that people will engage more, people will like the videos more and see like, hey, you know what? She talked about this today and I really related with that. And I have something I want to say. And then once they say something, then somebody else is like, oh my God, I think they're onto something. I want to comment on that. And I want to see people talking to each other in my comment section. To me, that would be a huge milestone in the success department for me. Because I've talked about before that we all measure success differently. We do. But that would be a success to me, is to see my audience grow from being an audience to community, because I would see them leaning on each other as well. So that's what I'm talking about by optimizing for long-term relationships. Been working on that all year, and I think I'm getting better at it. Like I had to figure out kind of the message that it was I wanted to send to entice that. But I think I'm getting there, and I love that I'm getting there. There's always room to grow and develop, right? Like it's not perfect, but building long-term relationships online with my community is something that has been a goal this year. And I think I've laid the foundation, and I think I'm starting to get somewhere, which makes me very happy and very excited. The next thing is focus. Optimizing for focus. This kind of goes hand in hand with clarity, but it's also just a little bit different. So my focus needs to be on like one thing at a time instead of trying to focus on a bouquet of things. And I also need to focus on my goals. I need to focus on consistency, because when I focus on that consistency, the momentum is building and I don't have to keep restarting, right? I don't have to keep, okay, well, this is not going to work, so I'm just going to let it drop off and I'll come back to it in 6 months. Like, no, I need to focus on my goals. I need to focus on the optimization because it's working. I am getting there, right? Like I feel so different about my business this year, and I feel so good about my business this year because my mindset has completely shifted into the next level of how it is to look at my business and how it is to figure out better workflows, figure out optimizing for sustainability, right? Like I would never have talked like this a year ago. Before it was just kind of like, well, I hope I have these affiliate links on my blog do something, which they don't, by the way. I get $10 to $13 a year, so look out. But yeah, so it's just one of those things where the focus part of it has been really, really crucial. Because when I sit there and I go, okay, so today this is what I'm focusing on, but it connects to this overarching goal for the month, which connects to this goal for the year, right? Like that focus is constantly there. I'm starting to see me achieve my goals here at the end of the year. I'm starting to see good foundations in place for moving forward into the next year with the next set of goals that I have set up for 2026. So focus is just such an important one to have. And I've really worked on optimizing that this year. And I'm really proud of that. It's been a tough road to hoe because I'm not very good with my focus, but I write down every day what it is that I should be doing to make sure that I'm staying on track. The intentional journaling, by the way, has been very helpful in doing my 2 non-negotiables for the day. Like, hey, these 2 non-negotiables are super important because they lead to the monthly goal and they lead to the annual goal, right? Like it's been good to change my mindset about focus. Okay. I think we all could use this particular optimization, which is for learning and growth. I have said this in multiple episodes at this point in time, so I'm sure for those of you who've been following along, this shouldn't be too much of a surprise. But looking at your mistakes as data, not failure, is huge. You learn so much from that data. And even if it's, I don't even want to say a failure, but even if it's like, I did this thing and it just blew up like crazy and I have no idea what to do with that. Okay, we'll start with the data, start with the comments, the likes, the time people were interacting with it, right? Like, what is the data you can grab from that so that you can move forward in some type of direction with some type of something, right? Whether that's hey, I blew up and now I'm going to host a live workshop and charge everybody $5 for, or hey, everybody for the last 2 weeks has really liked my posts about cheese. So I think I'm going to do like a little ebook on how to build a charcuterie board, right? Like, I don't know. But you get what I'm saying? Like, you have to learn what it is that people are asking you for from the data. And that comes from mistakes, that comes from successes too. Data comes from the good things as well. But it's learning from all that data and treating everything as data and treating everything as this is what it is that I'm taking away from this, instead of just going like, well, that didn't work, so I'm out. You can't shut down that way, because then your business has like this stop and there's a loss of momentum. And that's something that I've been working on this year and optimizing for. Like, everything is a learning opportunity, and treating everything like a learning opportunity and allowing myself to be new at something. Woo! YouTube. Hello, I'm new. Yeah, allowing myself to be new at something is crazy because I'm just such a perfectionist, and in my head I'm always like, okay, so I'm going to do this when I'm ready to do it because I've learned all these things to do. No, I just was like, no, this time around, we're just going to post daily on YouTube and we're going to see where it takes us. And that's what I've been doing for the last 15 days in a row. I'm doing it, folks. 15 days in a row now. That's amazing. And I'm learning stuff. My analytics are starting to like populate on YouTube. So I'm starting to learn like what's performing well and what's not performing well, and what has a lot of likes and views and what doesn't. So it's like very interesting to see in the last 15 days what's already being provided to me via the analytics section and just what I can learn from that too. So it's been fun, but it adds to my optimization for learning and growth is just like allow yourself to be new, right? And treat everything as data, regardless of it being good or bad or successful or a failure or whatever. Treat everything as data. So this last one is, it's personal, right? Like it's personal to me, and I would hope that if this last one is for you, which it should be, you're personalizing your business to you as well. And the last one is optimizing my business for my life. I want to travel a lot. I love traveling. I'm a huge nomad. Like, I love it. I love traveling so much. Um, so I want to incorporate that as part of my business. I mean, I talk about myths from around the world and stories from around the world, right? And global women's history. So the travel aspect is there. Um, but also just based on the last couple weeks of worrying about my full-time job and going through these hoops of fire to get on some type of FMLA or leave of absence or whatever, which has been just so crazy and is not settled yet, that I realized I want to be optimized for my health in case anything were to happen again, and to be optimized in case anything were to happen to anybody in my family that I need to support, right? Like, I want to have processes in place that speak to that, or just like, hey, I can walk away from my business for a month and be okay. Whereas right now I can't walk away from my job for a month and be okay, but I have no choice. So that's kind of the direction like that is inspiring me to optimize the business for my life, is, my travel lifestyle that I want to have, and also like my health. And I think like, the last bullet point I have here is building something that I don't want to escape from. So I think that's a really crucial bullet point to have in the optimizing for my life section, because I don't, I like working. I like being productive. I like being creative, and I like helping people and answering pain points and connecting and all that jazz, right? I don't want to escape from that. I don't want this to feel so miserable that I don't want to do it. And that's how it feels with my full-time job. Like, I don't want to do it. That's not what I want to do with the rest of my life. And that's okay. That is totally okay. But now I have to do the legwork to get to that point where I can walk away from that full-time job. Um, but that involves being very committed to this list of optimization for all these different sections that I have previously spoken about throughout this episode. So all these optimizations that I've talked about are just things that are helping me grow as a businesswoman, as a CEO mindset person, and as a creative and as a human being, right? Like all these things they're coming together to help me in so many different ways, and I can't lose that focus on them, because then everything starts to lose momentum and kind of fall apart. But I'd love to know, like, what are you optimizing in your business right now, and how has it helped you? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if this list was helpful to you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video. Please subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.